I'm here to tell the truth. I cannot lie while sitting on this stand.
I'm not asking you to put words in your mouth. I'm asking you if you remember saying that during that phone call. Oh, I know you're going to tear me a new asshole.
I don't recall.
But you do remember saying something to the effect of, I know you're going to tear me a new one, right?
Yes. Like you can't remember my name. I don't remember.
I can remember your name, Miss Diva.
Okay, so the answer is I don't remember. No comments.
More than that, Judge. I think we all...
All right, so no comments. Just
Kelly Dever, last name Dever.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a police officer.
Where are you employed?
Boston Police.
That's Kelly Dever being sworn in as a Boston police officer. She's on the stand now testifying as to what she saw the night John O'Keefe was found dead on the lawn at 34 Fairview.
2 years and a little over 2 months.
Where'd you work before that?
I worked for the Canton Police.
Oh no, not another Canton police officer. All right, let's listen.
What was your duty assignment in January of 2022?
It definitely wasn't solving crimes.
I was a patrol officer.
January 28th, 2022. Where were you working? What was your duty assignment on that day, January 28th, moving into January 29th?
Well, 3.5 years later, I remember I was on patrol.
Whenever you hear a witness reference how long it's been, it's an indicator of deception.
I don't remember anything further about this night.
Did you work overnight, like a late shift going into the morning of January 29th?
That was my assigned shift, so yes.
Okay. Did you know Brian Higgins at that time?
Yes, in passing.
I'm not asking if you're social friends, asking if you knew who he was.
Yes.
How'd you know who Brian Higgins was?
Everybody knows Higgy Bear.
He had an office in the Canton Police.
How long had you known and been familiar with Brian Higgins? Say, for instance, by sight, to be able to recognize who he was.
You can't miss that, big boy.
Sometime during 2020 is when I was probably first familiarized with him, because that's when I was employed with the Canton Police Department first.
Could you recognize him if you saw him?
2.5 years later, no, but...
There it is again, another reference to how long it's been. And I'm sure Higgy Bear changed so much.
At the time, yes.
I'm not asking you about right now, I'm asking you back in January 2022. Could you recognize him by sight?
Yes.
Did you know who Kenneth Berkowitz was?
Yes.
Who's Kenneth Berkowitz?
He was the chief of the Canton Police.
Obviously very familiar with him. He was your boss, correct?
Yes.
Had you ever been in the Sallyport at Canton PD?
Yes.
What's the Sallyport?
A Sallyport is a garage, essentially.
Okay. You were aware that the Sallyport garage had a security camera?
It would make sense because that's where we bring prisoners to drop them off.
Well, more than...
Horrible answer. I'm not sure if an attorney prepared her, but we're seeing so many questions that could be answered with a simple yes or no that are answered with something that's non-responsive.
It just makes sense. I'm asking you, do recall that it had cameras that serviced the Sallyport garage?
It's where we brought prisoners, so there would be cameras, yes.
Okay, you're saying there would be cameras. I'm asking you, were there cameras?
According to the media, yes. I've seen the footage, so yes, there were cameras.
What a snarky answer, and that does not help your credibility as a witness.
Officer, you have to answer the question based on your own independent methods. And if you don't, you can't reference what you know from the media.
All right.
Aw, what's the matter, Kelly Diva? I mean, Dever.
There were cameras in the Sallyport.
And do you want to be here today?
I have no relation to this case,
I
so...
didn't ask you that. I asked you if you want to be here today.
Yes or no?
Action, this isn't direct.
Do you want to be here today, man?
I am put on the stand in a murder trial. I don't know why I'm here. I have no connection to this case.
You have no idea why you're here?
You've never talked to me. Nobody on the fence seems to talk to me since prior to the first trial. So I don't have any idea why I'm here.
Do you see how critical it is for an attorney to train their witness to answer the question properly without giving a narrative, without being combative? That question could have been answered with a yes or no. Do you want to be here today? No. But when a witness gives more than the simple yes or no, it gives the opponent so much more ammunition.
No clue whatsoever, as you sit here, why you might have been Wilson standing.
No.
Did one of the monitors that you looked at, that you had access to at the dispatch area, did it show the video footage or the video feed from the Sallyport garage?
So I already said I don't remember where in dispatch the screen with the cameras was. There was a camera in the Sallyport. So if I'm going to make the assumption, then yes, of course. But now that's an assumption.
I'm not asking you for an assumption. Yeah. do you recall whether or not there was footage that you could see on a monitor in the dispatch area that showed the Sally Port?
I'm going to go with yes.
Okay.
Look, I don't know what that means. So what do you mean you're going to go with yes? Is your answer yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Once you took over the dispatch desk, did you stay there even past your normal shift ending to support the investigation that was ongoing?
Not to support the investigation. I was just on overtime.
The main issue with this witness is she said that she saw Higgy Bear and Chief Berkowitz in the Sallyport with the SUV. We got that? Higgy Bear Berkowitz in the conservatory with the revolver. She told that to the FBI and then later changed her story. But she has no idea why she's here.
Okay. So you stayed past your normal end time of your shift that day?
Yes, on overtime.
You stayed into the afternoon, correct?
I believe the shift ended at 3:45 p.m. for the Canton Police.
Did you stay past your ending shift time?
For my regular shift, yes, because I was on overtime on the day shift.
Did you observe anything unusual that stood out in your mind that occurred in the Sallyport while you were on that shift?
So we've discussed this previously. I can't make that statement on the stand because I've been provided information released by the defense that it was not a memory, that it was a distorted memory. Therefore, I can't state it because at this point it would be a lie. I cannot make that statement that you're wanting me to make on the stand because I've advised that that would be a lie.
Ms. Dever, I've never asked you to make a statement one way or the other on the stand. I'm asking you an open-ended question. Did you observe something in the Sallyport garage on January 29th, 2022 that you found unusual?
Given factual information that makes it so I know I did not, no.
So the answer is no.
Correct.
Do you remember being interviewed on August 9th, 2023?
I do.
That was by a separate law enforcement agency, correct?
Yes.
FBI. Most of the references to this separate law enforcement is the FBI. There's been an order that the parties and the witnesses can't reference the FBI because it could be prejudicial to either side. But everyone, including the jury, knows when they say that it's the FBI.
Two separate law enforcement agents, is that right?
Yes.
Were you advised that lying to those officers would be a crime?
So it was a willing conversation. I've spoken with their legal team because of the
Yes or no?
fact I was provided factual information that showed a statement of mine was a false memory. It was not a lie. Therefore, I made it in good faith, and I retracted given information that it could not be accurate.
False memory? I never heard that before, but I'm definitely going to use it the next time my wife catches me sexting with another girl.
Did you understand my question?
Yes, I did. You threatened to charge me with perjury during our phone call prior to the first trial if I didn't lie on the stand right now. I'm telling you, I did not see anything. Factually, I've been provided evidence by a timeline that it is not correct.
Ms. Dever, my question was this. Were you advised that it was a crime to lie to those law enforcement agents? Yes or no?
No.
Did you tell those law enforcement agents on August 9th, 2023 that you saw Brian Higgins and Chief Berkowitz go into the Sallyport together and alone with the SUV for a wildly long time?
That was my recollection at the time.
So you did say that?
At the time, that is what I recollected.
Okay. You were asked to go to the commissioner's office, correct?
Yes.
How long had you been on the Boston Police Department at the time that you were invited to go up to the Commissioner Michael Cox's office? 5 years, 2 years, 2 months, give me a ballpark.
So I've been on the department for 2 years and 2 months. I would say somewhere in the range of a year.
Did you find it unusual that a rookie police officer would be called up to the commissioner's office personally?
It was a reflection of how good of a leader he is. It was not anything that I found unusual, given the fact he is someone who wanted to show support for his officer.
I heard Commissioner Cox was a dick, but apparently he's a good leader.
Did you go to his office?
He's my boss, so yes.
Okay. And who else was in that office?
Me and him, the two of us.
General counsel for the Boston Police Department?
No, it's just me and him.
You ever met general legal counsel for the Boston Police Department?
Yes.
Was it in the commissioner's office?
No.
When was it?
during my conversation with the agents.
You took a lawyer with you to talk to this other law enforcement agency?
Definitely not the FBI.
I'm going to see it type out.
At some point, did the commissioner say to you that Boston Police Department, insofar as your connection to this case is concerned, Boston Police Department fully supports you?
Yes.
Did he also say, do the right thing?
That's a direct quote, so I can't recollect if he said a direct quote 2 years ago.
Did you tell the defense that when you were called up to the commissioner's office, he told you two things? Commissioner Cox told you, number one, the Boston Police Department supports you, and Officer Diva, do the right thing.
So he said my name correctly. He said Dever, and
That's not a mistake. Let's see, you want me to repeat the question so I get
So,
that right?
Mr. Jackson, let's go ahead and answer, please.
yes, and he said nothing with the intent of guiding me one way or the
I asked you
other.
what his intent was, madam. I asked you what he said to you. What were his words to you?
That he supports me.
And
Just wanted me to tell the truth up here.
his words were, do the right thing, right?
I don't recall.
As Commissioner Michael Cox called you up to his office to discuss your testimony with any of those cases. Yes or no?
That's not a yes or a no answer.
Well, yes, it actually is, Ms. Dever. Do you understand the question?
The question, yes. The implication,
In any of those cases, Officer Dever,
She was asked if she testified in court regarding other cases for which she was a police officer and involved in, and whether or not the commissioner called her to his office to speak about those cases. Obviously, he didn't, and she knows the implications of her questioning. But whenever you're testifying on the stand, it's so much better to be authentic than hostile.
not including this one, as Commissioner Michael Cox ordered you up to his office to discuss your testimony.
no.
Thank you.
You seem a bit anxious. Are you anxious?
Confused as to why I'm here, but anxious now.
You mentioned that somebody
Confused as to why you're here. Confused as to why you're here. You saw a potential murderer and the chief of police in the same room as the murder weapon.
suggested you be charged with perjury.
Yes.
Who did that?
One of the male members of the defense team. They were essentially telling me what they were looking for me to say on the stand.
What were they looking for you to say?
They were looking for me to say that I saw Higgins and Berkowitz in the garage with the car.
Did you share with them that that wasn't an accurate memory?
Yes.
How did they respond?
They became very aggressive, raised their voices, and the one word that I can very definitely remember is they said that they would charge me with perjury.
They never said that. They said you can be charged with perjury for changing your entire story, which implicated two other officers.
A male voice on that phone call threatened to charge you with perjury.
Yes.
You're a police officer, correct?
Yes.
Who charges people with crimes?
If a crime is committed, there can be a report of it.
Who
So
charges people with crimes?
in the end, it's going to go through the court system. So the district attorney, the ADAs, that's who pursues it in a court setting.
Have you ever seen a defense attorney charge anybody with a crime?
So you can seek out reporting someone for it.
Have you ever seen a defense attorney charge someone with a crime, ma'am?
Personally, no.
Damn, I want to charge people with a crime.
Right.
Understanding a lawyer has no power to charge with contempt. Does that change the reality of whether or not you were threatened?
Of course it does. Attorneys can't charge people with a crime. It has to go through our judicial process for which the state charges you, not the attorney.
Ask it a different way. You were asked questions about whether or not you knew who could take out charges for a crime. Yes?
Yes.
Regardless of whether an attorney has that power, were you threatened that there'd be a charge of perjury if you didn't comply with the defense wishes in this case?
Yes.
Fact of the matter is, nobody ever threatened you with perjury, did they?
Oh, they did. Yes.
It's impossible because there's no way to fulfill the threat. Again, a private attorney cannot charge anyone with a crime, including perjury.
I contacted the FBI regarding it.
Oh, did you?
I did.
You have a report?
I have a
Hey, we're not supposed to say the FBI.
email conversation where I sent the two questions I had. She responded, I will pass these along. I was contacted by their legal team. They reassured me perjury was not applicable because I made a statement in good faith. Upon further information, I retracted it, corrected it, and made it clear that I could no longer say it because I knew that it was not a clear reflection of the events that took place.
That's a mouthful.
Yes.
My question is, do you have a report from the FBI saying that you reported that someone on the Karen Reed defense team threatened to charge you, your words, with perjury? You have
No.
a report to that effect?
No.
No.
As you're testifying here today, are you under any tension, undue influence, stress, threat?
There is discomfort with the way that there's attempting to guide what my testimony is, but I don't feel any need to fall into it because I'm here to speak the truth on the stand. That's my livelihood, livelihood.
What you told those law enforcement agents, quote,
Not the FBI.
you recalled seeing Higgins at the station later that day on Saturday. Dever thought it was also weird that Higgins and Chief Kenny Berkowitz were by themselves in the Sally Port of the police department, by themselves while Karen Reed's car was parked inside. Higgins was a witness and present at the gathering where O'Keefe was found dead outside, and then he was in the presence of important evidence. You were sitting at dispatch by yourself and saw on the camera outside of the Sally Port when they walked in. Do you remember making that statement to the officers?
That's a huge statement by an eyewitness. She's claiming it's impossible for that to have occurred because the SUV did not arrive till about 5 o'clock, which was about an hour and a half after her shift. However, we don't really know if she hung around, but we know for sure she gave that exact statement to not the FBI.
My recollection of the time was that, so yes.
Okay, great. Did you go on to say, speaking of being truthful, quote, you never saw them leave, them being Brian Higgins and Chief Ken Berkowitz. You never saw them leave, but you recalled thinking to yourself that they were in the Sally Port for a wildly long time together in there, end quote.
That was my recollection of the time,
Okay.
so yes.
You indicated under questioning by Mr. Brennan that you knew what they wanted from me, meaning the defense, what they wanted from me.
Yes.
Remember saying that?
Yes.
Do you remember on that phone call that we read directly from the exact same report that I just read from? You remember that?
And I told you the same thing then.
That's not
Yes.
my question. My question is, just answer my question, Officer Diva. Deborah,
I call the officer Diva, which is definitely more fitting.
where you read the exact same thing that I just read to you on that phone call.
Like you can't remember my name, I don't remember.
I can remember your name, Miss Deborah.
Okay, so the answer is I don't remember. No comments.
More than that, Judge. I think we all.
All right, so no comments, just questions, please.
Do you recall us telling you that we were looking for the truth about your comments? That we were looking for the truth.
Which I gave you, yes.
Did you also say on that phone call something to the effect of, I know you're going to tear me a new one because I'm changing my testimony?
Changing, no. But you're trying to do that.
Did you say, I know you're going to tear me a new one?
That's what you're trying to do, so yes.
When you're in court, don't be afraid to curse. Just say the word.
Actually, what you said was, you're going to tear me a new asshole.
Oh my God.
I don't recall that, so that's putting words in my mouth.
I'm not asking you to put words in your mouth. I'm asking you if you remember saying that during that phone call. Oh,
I don't
I know
recall.
you're going to tear me a new asshole.
I don't recall.
Okay. But you do remember saying something to the effect of, I know you're going to tear me a new one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard of something called the Blue Wall of Silence? Are you friends with any people that you're aware of that are connected to this case? Are you personal friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, personal friends with anyone that's connected with this case?
I did text Higgins that he's hot.
Other people who's been on the witness stand, one person, yes.
Who's that?
Sarah Levinson.
How long have you known Sarah?
We became friends in middle school.
And you told the defense you had made a mistake about your memory.
Sarah was at the party for the younger Albert at that house that night.
Did they pressure you?
Yes.
Did they pressure you to say something other than the truth?
Yes, they wanted me to repeat a lie at that point, given it would have been with malicious intent to repeat it.
And knowing you were going to come into court, given this experience you had with the defense, is that why you felt like they were going to tear you? Is that the phrase we used?
You could say it, Spanky.
You're going to tear me a new asshole. Tear me a new asshole.
They were going to tear you
Yes, because they did not want me to tell the truth. So I told them that knowing they were kind of trying to eat me alive into repeating something that is not the truth.
Wouldn't it be easier just to come in and accommodate them rather than be threatened?
Well, of course.
So why did you come in here?
My entire
It would be easier to come into court and perjure yourself? Right.
job revolves around what I say on the stand right now. My entire job revolves around what I say on the stand right now. If I was to lie, I lose my job. I lose everything. I'm here to tell the truth. I cannot lie while sitting on the stand.
Your entire job revolves around what you say on the witness stand. Is that what you just testified to?
Yes.
And if you agree that what you said to those two law enforcement agents, you would be implicating not one, but two law enforcement officers, correct? If you agreed with what you said in August of 2023 on this witness stand, you would be implicating two officers, fellow officers, correct?
So I'm confused as to what you're asking.
You would be implicating two officers as having been in the Sally Port, weirdly, for a wildly long time with the SUV, implicating not one, but two fellow officers, correct? That's what you would be doing.
It's not possible I saw
If you
that.
agreed with me, would you be implicating the reputations of two officers?
If I was to lie, then yes.
And your entire job revolves around what you say on that witness stand. That's what you said, correct?
I'm still,
That's what you just said, Officer Deborah, correct?
I still don't really understand the question.
You just said, all I'm asking you is what you just said. I'm going down. You just said, my entire job
My entire job revolves around what I say on the stand right now.
revolves around what I say on the witness stand, correct?
Yes to that question.
That's all I got.
There you have it, Officer Diva on the stand performing poorly. Part of my job is preparing witnesses and then grading them, and we grade every single question. She probably graded out at about a 4%, meaning she got about 4% of the questions right. But now we have another witness that's implicating Higgy Bear because he was alone with the SUV with Chief Berkowitz without anyone else being present. Inch by inch, day by day, until we smoke out that real killer. Vince the lawyer, out.
I'm here to tell the truth. I cannot lie while sitting on the stand.
Quiet, please.